Yeah, so this is Defi podcast. I'm Marlon with Chris Barrington. Today's podcast, we're kind of talking about how we first started, how we got into cycling, how we started to get into racing in a sense. Like, we won't touch too much on it, but kind of we just want to start from the ground up and how we started the team also. But for me, I started through Ohana Fix, so I got into talks with a few guys from there, and I kind of this is
what?
Yeah, so wait,
like,
go back because I don't know what a Hannah Fix does.
So Ohana Fix was kind of just a fixed team that was from around London. Yeah, they didn't really race. They were kind of just more of a kind of
lifestyle
kind of thing. Like, it was kind of more for the cool kicks, like carbon wheels and stuff. Like,
What year was that?
when was this?
Damn.
This was years ago. This was 2011. I could say.
Yeah, when the fixed boom was a thing.
Yeah.
Is this when everyone had like anodized parts and coloured
This
wheels
is
and
this is
stuff?
when
Yeah.
Planet X was the thing. Like,
Yeah.
Planet X was the thing back then. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Like, everyone had a Planet X. Everyone wanted to get, even Dolan's and Planet X was the thing back then. I think. But before that, like, I was kind of I didn't want to join because I had a no logo, so I started off with that.
Yeah.
And then I didn't want to go next to them because they had all the carbon wheels. They had the 88 millimeter wheels and thing. I was like, oh, I can't really compare with them. Like, I got the plastic wheels and shit.
Plastic pedals as well.
Plastic pedals, everything. Like, I will slip so many wheels. Like, I will thread through like at least about 3 wheels. I had to go back to the shop to get them back. But yeah, it was kind of I started off with that. I thought it was pretty cool. Like, I stripped the whole thing down. I had a kind of I had a silver frame, Black Forks. I had a Thompson stem. I had like a 30mm stem.
Oh,
a 30mm
stem.
I had a 30mm stem.
The ant stem. Yeah.
I thought I was sick. And then I had like risers from BLB. What else did I have? Like, kept the pedals. No, that's a lie. No, I had the BLB pedals and straps that I took over to the new bike.
What were the straps? What were the straps like?
The straps were cool, man. But at the beginning, but this was before. So basically, when I first got it, me and my mate Jamie, like, you'll see him in a minute. He's gonna come here. We both got the bike at the same time. So we was running that. This is the shop where you can get it from in where is it? Hackney Road. You see the top of Hackney Road, Cambridge Chief.
Oh yeah,
So we got it from there. We rode down from there to Mare Street. You know, there's a little like decline from there.
Yeah.
So we were speeding down there thinking we were nang, and then next minute we didn't have, we had no retention, nothing.
No retention.
We had no retention at all. So we couldn't stop.
Well,
so
you weren't running brakes at the time.
we weren't running brakes. We took the brakes off because we thought, oh, that's what everyone's doing. So we had no brakes. It was just like this, like reckless, like running down past Hackney Empire and that. Like, it just couldn't stop. I almost went into a bus. It was mad.
That's joke.
But yeah, that's how I started, man. And kind of, I love that bike. I remember I sold it as well. I got it on Gumtree.
Yeah, man.
I got a bit of a profit back from it as well.
What did you get instead?
I got Fuji after that. I think that's what everyone pretty much knew me for, was the Fuji.
Yeah.
So
You still have it? Knocking it.
No, I still got it. Yeah. But the rear triangles are obviously
It's
out.
black twisted.
So yeah. So I can't really ride it, but it's there. Yeah, I got that. I think that's when I kind of wanted to say I was associated with Ohana Fix at that time because I had a cool bike, and then I met like Hindaloo. I don't know if you met.
Yeah, Heinz. Yeah.
Met him, and then met all the rest of the guys. They don't even ride anymore, actually. You know, I'm not gonna name a bunch of names. Everyone knows who they are, but yeah, I kind of started that, and then riding them for a bit, and then I met Duke. Like, through them, Duke was riding with them as well, but he wasn't really associated. This is when Duke was like fully on his racing thing at that time, so I didn't really see much of him. Like, he wasn't really on a cool thing. I think he was kind of getting out of it. But I was just more on the cool thing. I never really wanted to race. I just thought it looked cool.
Yeah.
I got into it because it looked cool. Like, I'm not gonna front and be like, oh, I got into it because I wanted to race. I wanted to be strong. I wanted to be this.
Yeah.
I was like, no, like, I just wanted to look cool on my bike.
Yeah,
I just wanted to go around town, whip skidding, like, looking. That was it. Like, I didn't really
bus touching.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Just running your hand for no reason. Like, I don't know why do we do that? I don't understand. Like,
It just
I
looked cool,
done it
man.
I done it the other day, and I was like, why am I doing this? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
Still on the roadie. You did it on the roadie.
yeah. I was like, why am I doing this? Like, I just do it just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
But I never knew the reason why people do that. Like,
Just a cool shot.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But that was kind of my entry into the whole cycling thing. I mean, I kind of dip into it more, but I'd like to hear obviously your guys' insight of when you guys started as well.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe if you go next, because you were kind of part of the same scene, I guess.
Yeah.
And then it makes more sense because I kind of came along later.
Yeah. Okay. So, I bought my bike actually just for transportation. I had a orange and black no logo.
Double no logo.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's trash. I'll admit that,
orange
but I still loved it. It lasted one day. I rode it to like my girlfriend's house, locked it up outside. Woke up next morning, it was gone. But it was cool, like, you know. I was sad, obviously, like I paid like £200 and this bike's gone, and then tried to find it. So I searched on like internet, find stolen bike, whatever, because it mattered to me, and I found the forum LFGSS.
So you found the forum because your bike is stolen?
Yeah, so that's how, and then I saw all of this, like, you know, hip hop sled bike, this, that, the other, and then that was it. Like, I was hooked.
Done.
Like, just looking for a new bike. I bought another no logo just to get back and forth from work because it was cheap.
Do you know what? I had one and I would not buy another one.
No, I was committed to the cheap game at that time, man. And then so I got it just to get back and forth from work. And slowly, actually, I started transitioning that bike into something quite decent. I bought like specialized carbon forks, took out the trash metal ones that was in there. Couldn't change the seat post because it was like a weird measurement of like 25/1. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's one of my girlfriend's bikes, a nightmare.
Yeah,
Like,
what can you do with that?
You can't get another one.
It
Yeah.
was awful. I had a Brooks B17 saddle, the big leather one.
Nice.
Like mad comfort, but I needed that. And then
Also, the one you showed me was the one after.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like, if I show you a picture of this, man, it was class. And then I changed it to the Halo wheels, purple ones.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this colourful shit, man. It
You
was getting
upgraded
down.
decent.
Yeah.
I kept the wheels.
You kept the wheels.
I kept the wheels.
I changed that shit, man. I
I
sold those
couldn't
wheels
take
for
the
like
colour off of
£20.
it. Like, I had the gold hubs as well.
Oh, ugly, man.
I couldn't change it.
And then then I got the bullhorn handlebars, like these BLB ones, Bontrager silver stem, like it was like a tenner. Snapped it up. I was so happy.
How many mils was it?
It was like 100. No,
All right,
I was
standard,
normal. I was pretty
yeah,
normal.
yeah.
And then I had like the bullhorn, so I was like overreaching anyway. But it was cool. And then I started like a Tumblr because like through the forum, I realized there was like a whole world of racing that I didn't know existed as well. So I was like, yo, like this is crazy. And I checked out this forum page, like a separate forum, and they were talking about like racing fixed gear bikes. And then after that, done. Got a Dolan, then I like felt TK2 frame, and then I met a few guys after that. Ben I met through Tumblr, like I posted up my training program, whatever, and then he messaged me saying, "Oh, yeah, come around Regent's Park, let's go for a ride."
Also Ben Flower.
Yeah. And then that was it. Like just spiraled from there. Like Ben's been good from day one. So that was it. I was hooked, and here I am. Like now. Like something
Let me
decent
just
now.
say as well, because I know I'm gonna get slaughtered by all the whole Honda Fix guys. Because obviously I wasn't initially.
backtracking
Yeah, no. I'm gonna say because like I wasn't really a part of it. Like I got into it when they were all splitting up, when it was all kind of like dissolving.
Deteriorating.
So I didn't like. I was a part like, only because of association. It wasn't because I was a part of the team. Yeah, from the beginning. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say that, but obviously from when I obviously started riding with them, that was when obviously
they were kind of thing.
Yeah.
Shame. Chris.
All right, yeah. So I guess it's a bit different for me. So for people who don't know me, you can probably tell by the accent that I'm not from London. So I started cycling in Glasgow, I bought a Genesis Day 1 single speed.
Oh man,
Like a
you were
single
like
speed cross.
you were ahead of us, man.
Oh, well, it wasn't fixed though.
But still, it's a decent.
But so yeah, it was like a big deal for me getting that bike, and it was just to commute. But yeah, Glasgow's much different to London, much hillier. But I don't know, like I just discovered Strava and being like, oh, you can like get like times and stuff. And part of it was just getting fit. So like, because I used to be a lot heavier, and I literally remember getting the bike, and like the first weekend I had it after I rode it back from the bike shop. And so I lived in like Partick, which is just outside of the city centre. I mean, you're talking a couple of miles. And I remember thinking, I wonder if I can cycle into town and if I'll be able to get back again. Like, I just didn't have any concept of like how like, is this really far? Is this not far? Is this tiring? Like I'm not like wasn't from a cycling background at all. So like it was almost that every week was just going a bit further and a bit further and a bit further, and then realising that you could go and do like 40k or 50k even, and that was, and you were okay. But I used to ride everywhere with a rucksack. And a big bike clock in it and stuff.
God.
Like even if I was just even if I was going out to like just outside like the city and stuff out into the country, I would ride with that everywhere because I didn't know how to fix a puncture, and I was worried that if I got a puncture, then I'd just be like, what am I going to do? I'd have to lock my bike up somewhere.
Oh my lord!
So yeah.
Do you guys still ride with inner tubes? Or you just ride with...
Yeah, still carry it in tubes.
Yeah, I use...
I never carry one, you know. I don't know. Up until now.
This guy, man.
Remember the times like I used to ask for the pump? Like I still don't have a pump. I still not on like a...
What happens if you get a puncture?
I never get one.
Oh, man, that's... jinxed it
I
now.
just never get one.
Overconfident, man.
So I was always really worried about getting a puncture. And couldn't fix it at that time, so I just carried loads of heavy stuff with me everywhere, but no tools to fix punctures.
Yeah, so you just
had
had
a
all this
convenient
stuff
thing to carry. And yeah, that kind of went on. Till I started. So I was working in London, so I was like commuting down in a during the week and flying back up to Glasgow at the weekends.
So you cycled down and
no. So and I wasn't really using the bike much at the time, but then. I realised through cycle to work, like I saw a lot of people riding fixed gears in London, and I was like, I quite fancy getting into that, and then realised I could get cycle to work through my work, and I'd been into Condor a few times because Condor was just up the road from where I was working. So yeah, like long story short, bought like a Condor track bike.
Was it the Lavora?
The Lavora, yeah, nice bike. Like the guy properly messed me up on the size and. Sorry guys at Condor. Yeah, we give me a 61 frame, and like honestly head tubes like that on it's ridiculous. But it means I could slam the stem really easily. But I mean, you know, it was a great bike to ride, and like felt great having like an actual fixed gear bike, and I just went all out right at the start. Got like, because previously, obviously, the single speed didn't really need to worry if I was wearing. So I wasn't riding clipless or anything. I was just riding with straps as well. And then just like fixed gear and like proper like cycling shoes and like look pedals and stuff straight away.
You went straight
in.
And
I remember like cycling down at the bottom of the hill where I lived in Glasgow, turning the corner, coming to the lights. Falling off.
Oh yes. Oh man.
Everyone does it.
We all have that story, man. Like I remember the first time I wore cleats, like track standing.
I think I learned to track stand just so I didn't need to clip out.
West End, balancing, let go, you know, no hands, being cool, and boom, tumble. I just got back on the bike, rode away, red lights and all. I was just like, can't stay there.
Had a lot of big falls. So and then when I eventually moved down to London, just brought the bike down with me, and I think. Yeah, so I moved down to London in like the January, and I think it must have been like February, March when I met both of you at Regent's Park.
Yeah,
like,
Inner Circle.
Yeah, Inner Circle. So that was where like Ben had organised coming out to the park, wasn't it?
I didn't meet you first. You met Barrington first.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I met you. I actually thought you were my friend Andrew at the time. I remember I was like, Andrew, and he's like, no, Chris, and I was like, come ride with us. Like, yeah, I actually remember that quite well.
Yeah, so that was like. That was, and then so I remember coming out like every Tuesday after that, and I think everyone kind of got to know each other better from then. Yeah. But like, The main thing. So the main thing about then. So that's us all starting to ride bikes, I guess. I always think back to that time and think that Adrian was the big difference.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
huge.
So,
Huge.
so the guy Adrian, who we don't see very much anymore. I think he still works at Condor. But he was riding his Condor fixed bike as well, and just
Double brakes.
yeah, and just said to us all, you know, why don't you start training, like coming out in the mornings or going out in the evenings and going up to Enfield
Doubles.
and stuff.
Ridgeway.
Double
Yeah.
days.
Yeah,
Doubles, yeah.
yeah, and just like that was like a real revelation for me. Like, oh, I can get up in the morning before work and go and like cycle and cycle hard, and then this is training.
Yeah,
and,
that's it. Yeah.
You know, so that's like, you know,
It's
that's
so
like,
true,
what,
because
like
at
3
the
years
time
ago.
we were only doing Tuesday nights. It was like Tuesday night and then Saturday if you could be bothered,
Yeah.
and then the commute to work. But you always geared yourself up for that one Tuesday night ride, like ready to smash it on Tuesday. I'm gonna give it my best, and then
like 3 laps really hard, and then
3
just
laps
done.
like 45 minutes, like that's it, a bagel shot, or whatever, like just like recovery,
Remember
like,
the
with
bagel
bagels.
shots?
And
I
then
remember I used to count the laps. I'd be like, how much laps did you do? Oh,
6.
7. I was like, oh, you done 7 today? Oh.
like 7 was the holy grail, like.
Oh my god, like you used to get there, everyone's already done laps. How much laps you done? Oh, I did about 5. I was like, oh, just got here. Like, I was like, wow.
Trying to play catch up and all those stuff.
Yeah,
that was wild. And then Adrian changed the game, man. Like for us anyway. We started riding out to like
White Webs.
White Webs Hills, like great.
The routes he used to show us was mad.
They were wild, man.
Yeah, and that was like, so that for me that was the difference. Like that changed from being just cycling as this like social kind of thing to being more like, oh, I'm like a cyclist now, I guess, and buying bib shorts.
Do you remember? So do you remember your first bib shorts? Like my first bib shorts was I signed up. I remember I signed up. I was trying to convince Marlon to race. I signed up for this like what is it called? London Nocturne. The first, like one of the first ever
Smithfields.
Everyone at Smithfields with the little hill. And I remember I turned up. You know, I had these gore bib shorts. Terrible fit. Like
big baggy hips.
Big baggy round here. Didn't even have the vest thing part. You know, it comes over. It was just like.
Oh, just the shorts.
Just the shorts. I was just like, yeah. And then I had like this zip one, and like I was a bit heavy set at the time, like it was a bit bigger. So like everyone's around me, and I'm just like, yo, what's going on? Like this is crazy. At BLB bars, like these soft shits, they were like, you know,
and flexing.
They were flexing, man.
You can be there, man. So I started off with B Twin. That was my first bibs. So I was still rocking. I was still rocking the B Twin.
Man.
So I started off with that. I remember the time as well when I first started cycling. I was still playing football. So I had like my what are them things called? Just your like the stuff you wear underneath your.
The Nike thermals or whatever.
You know, like compression
thermals,
type.
compression
So,
types.
yeah.
So
that's what I started riding with as well.
So I had them underneath the shorts. I thought I was nine. Like, I thought like what's it? The Sondico ones you get from Sports Direct.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I had that. I remember one time I come to one Tuesday ride. I think I met I think it was was it Jack? Yeah, Jack and I can't remember who else was there, but I rocked up. I don't think anyone else was coming that day. But I thought, yeah, I'm ready. I had a H&M jacket on. I thought
was that the woolly hat day?
The woolly hat. I had a woolly. No. I had my helmet by then.
You had your helmet.
That time, I think I had I was
the
still
burn.
rocking the
I think it was
beanie.
the burn helmet. The burn helmet.
Yeah.
I think it was the burn.
visor.
The peak on it.
Yeah. So I had that, and then what's it? When I first started like going doing laps, I had a beanie. I was sweating. I had like a shell jacket from H&M on. I thought I was so sick. Like the time I used to come there, the first times I used to do the laps. I think I come with jeans. So this is when obviously people just like they're not really sure of what they want to do. So I come with jeans. I came with jeans. So these were like some skinny. Back then I was in skinny jeans, innit? So I had my tight jeans that were
bust
stretched.
the ass straight
Yeah. Oh man. So I had like I had the slim jeans on that were stretched. So no, this one. Yeah. And so I must have come out with that. And then it was fine. I mean, I had like my Supras on, like I can't remember the name of them, but they were
big huge tongue.
Big. No. They were like they were. I can't remember what ones they were, but they had a cup sole, so they were really hard.
Okay.
So like, I think I was putting the power down on them, thinking, yeah, wasn't moving, no flex.
No flex,
no
super.
flex. They were like my carbon soul, man. Like, yeah, they were really cool. But yeah, I had like ridiculous humble beginnings, man. I didn't really flex like I was something else. Like I just come with what I had. Like I remember doing the long rides with them. Like I was climbing, flipping hills in up Essex and that.
Yeah.
In shoes, in trainers,
Yeah.
Trainers and flipping like these bibs. They're not even bibs. They were just shorts. They were undershorts. They weren't even bibs. Like your whole back is showing, everything. Like it was mad.
Crazy.
It was mad. Like coming from that and then thinking out now, I just think like it's. I don't know. I kind of see it more. It's really. Well, to me, it still is really expensive. Like I feel like I still go for the cheaper option.
Yeah,
no
always.
matter what. Yeah. I mean, like.
Well, not always, but yeah.
No. There is
understand.
a fine line between obviously just getting cheap shit and then getting the good stuff. But I kind of still feel like I have to go for the cheap option because I just feel like I can't really weigh out sometimes of is this really worth it? And then you get the padding and the padding is completely shit.
Yeah.
Because I've done that a few times. I remember I bought a Gore one. I thought that was sick. This is when I obviously got my first bibs were like the Gore, like the over shoulder bibs.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so sick. And then the threading would just come out in your crotch.
Yeah,
oh man, it was so bad. Like I'm thinking, and then I had to obviously invest in other shit. But I'll get to that. But yeah, I think I started off with that, and
that was it.
Right, yeah.
Chris, was yours like not the vest ones? Was yours the vest
Yeah,
ones?
I remember buying. Yeah, so I remember when we first started going out in the mornings, I was like, I better become a cyclist. Like maybe I should buy like some bib shorts and a jersey. So I got like a matching pair from Ravello, and it was. I remember like getting changed, looking at myself in the mirror, and just being like, "What is going on?"
Yeah, like the first time you put it on, you just feel like,
it's just like,
what am I wearing?
And it was just like a kind of evolution from there, I guess, where you just and then suddenly it becomes like normal, and you're like, this is
just
like
everyone else wears it when they cycle.
Yeah. But at the time, it was just like such like a totally different step. I remember I was looking back at some photos not long ago and just seeing when I first came to London and still wearing like my Nike like compression tights, no bib, and like some like running shorts over it, and then like I don't know, like a warm jacket or something, and just like no helmet, and just like looking back at that, and then like a year later, just you're in normal cycling kit
as standard. It's crazy.
My first jersey wasn't even a jersey. I don't know what to call it. It was kind of just a throwover. It was like a half zip.
Yeah, the one with the mine was the same. Like had the
so awkward.
was it like Endura? I got the Endura, mountain bike.
Mine was beating still.
Nah, I had the Endura mountain bike socks because I wasn't comfortable wearing like bib shorts like publicly, and then I was just like, I'll just wear this because this is better for me than wearing these like tights, like just like.
And you know the wickedest thing? I used to wear my underwear underneath them as well. But back then, because at the beginning I was thinking like, are you supposed to go like for I didn't know because obviously like.
But no one knows. This is the thing, and everyone goes through the same thing. Where I bet like everyone starts out like that, and I suppose it's good to hear people saying the same thing.
I was like, it was
It's
mad.
so true though.
But I didn't know. I thought I was wearing my underwear underneath it. And that was it. I thought, you guys don't wear underwear. I remember I'll come up to you, it's like, you don't wear underwear underneath your bibs? And I was like, no. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That was mad to me. Like, I was like, no, I can't do that. It took me a while to get.
But that's how you get like all them burns underneath them, and like.
Then when you used to tell me that, because I remember obviously coming on the rides with you guys, and then you used to rock up in your bibs and that. I used to ask, so how comes like you don't get things? Like, you still wear underwear? I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, like what? Like it was mad. Like for me, it was kind of like when I there come out when I wasn't wearing it, I was like, oh my god, so this is how it feels.
Yeah. I remember,
amazing.
Like the first time you put bib shorts on, you're just like, that
makes sense. Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, so like what you were saying earlier about like buying cheap stuff or buying expensive stuff.
Yeah.
So that's obviously so I think when we all started riding bikes, it was. Fixed gear was such a thing about having the right parts and the right like the right bits on your bike
Yeah.
and like every like so yeah like
matchy
4 years ago
or, like,
you had to have a
bearing.
Thompson stem, you had to have a Thompson seat post as well. Everyone wanted like a Selly saddle or something
No, it
like
was
that on.
Physique Aerion.
Oh yeah, the physique.
The first one.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
The
With the leather.
suede, with
Yeah,
the suede
yeah,
down the
yeah,
middle.
that's right.
They
Yeah.
never used to rip off. Oh,
Um,
yeah, you had that,
Rip
no?
off, yeah, ripped off. Had to put electrical tape around it.
But yeah, like
Right.
what you kind of go through that kind of like phase, I think, or I think we all did when you first get into cycling, and you start out just with whatever you can kind of throw together,
Yeah.
and then you start like getting nice parts, and you see what other people are getting, and there's almost that kind of culture of like, okay, so this is what a kind of like fixie
Yeah.
bike is, and you have to buy that bit, and you have to buy that bit.
Mm.
But yeah, like I was saying to you guys earlier on, I've definitely gone through the almost like full circle, and now I'm just at this. You know, definitely went through a phase of wanting to have all the right gear, and all the right parts on everything,
Yeah.
and now I just can't be bothered anymore. It's like
Yeah,
too much.
you-
It's too much hassle.
You've reached a peak.
Yeah,
Too much
it's too much
stuff.
hassle. It's
Yeah.
too expensive, and I just don't need it. And I definitely like enjoy. Like I like my bike to be functional now, rather than like a real show bike.
Yeah.
And yeah, the amount of times I've like, so my brother, my road
You don't
bike.
know how good that is to hear from Chris, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, we used to go out on a ride and he'd polish his bike like mid-ride. We stop at a hill, like top of a hill or
But
something.
hold on, I hear something. What's that? What's that? And he just like pick out his
Pe-
bike, like some
Dusting
little
that-
thing,
dusting
like,
that off.
Oh, yeah, like
Yeah, it's
Yeah, but you just need to. Yeah, like for me, you just need to deal with it and just be like, you know, it's just a bit of kit now. It's gonna get banged up. I've crashed like the brother so many times, like racing or not racing, just like riding about.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I was saying earlier on, I used to have like really expensive carbon bars on my DeRosa. And when I get knocked off by a car, I just get like as soon as they touch the ground, just crumpled, which is fair enough because it's carbon bars.
Yeah.
But I
Right.
can't afford for that shit to happen all the time. So you just start like going, well, I need a 130 or a 120 stem. That's a decent stem. It's the right angle.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm gonna get. Like
Yeah.
I'm not bothered about having. I can't. It's too much hassle and time to have like matching parts on everything, and I kind of feel a bit bad for people sometimes, especially people who
The young people.
the young people who don't have much money,
Yeah.
and they really feel that they need to like build the right bike up with the right
Yeah.
parts.
But this is where a forum, comes in handy as well. Sometimes you can snag a deal.
Yeah, it goes both ways. It goes both
Yeah.
ways. So like, yeah, on one hand, I think like forums
But that whole
and
dip
Tumblrs
thing
feed
was
it at the
very
same
cloudy,
time.
man.
Yeah.
Let me just say, I say that
From
like, jumping in.
experience.
Yeah.
From experience, yeah. I'm only gonna speak from my experience of it all. Like people obviously jump in before you, but blah blah blah. But yeah, I kind of feel like how can I put it? Like younger kids these days, like obviously see. But then again, I don't really see much kids on no logo or anything now.
No, they all go straight in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they just go head first
First,
in, and they're
like,
just
yeah.
like, I need to get like a carbon frame.
Yeah, they
straight
don't-
away.
They just
No.
go for the best, which I guess is fair. You look around and you see what people are riding, and you're just like gonna go for it. But it also shows like their interest is there from the get go. Like ours all come from a commuting background, whereas theirs is they're looking and seeing all the racing that's going on now, whatever, and they go, yeah, actually, I want to race. Here's the bike that I want, and then they just like
I
fully
think
commit
like
to
this
it.
whole fixie scene and obviously the whole fixie racing scene, I think is blew up in a way where it's obviously promoted in such a way where obviously if you started off now, that's the marketer kind of head. Like there's no obviously there was shit bikes. I'm not going to name the bikes, but you like everyone knows. Like but
Yeah.
obviously that's the mark of where everyone wants to be at, and I feel like
Yeah,
it's good. Like
but that's why everyone goes straight in with the
yeah.
the nice equipment, nice parts, everything. Like, I remember the first time when I started getting nice parts, man, I was so happy. I was excited, man. I was like, yes. Like, I went beyond like, the local bike shop. First time I ever purchased something off Wiggle, got like zip components. Man, snapped a picture, send Marlon. It was just like, yeah, look at that, man. Like, he was like, oh, how much? I was like, Amazon, man, Amazon, they got the deals. And I bought like the seat post, stem, and handlebar setup.
Oh, all matching.
Like SL, whatever it was, for like £80. Like, I got a crazy deal on it. I was just like, yes. And then now, like, I still have those, like, some of those parts still knocking about. They're just there doing nothing, like, and that's when you realise, oh, actually, I could have just kept the original things because they're exactly the same as what I have now. They just look different. Like, you know, one's all blacked out instead of like the white and whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
But that's what it is. It's just the culture and.
Although I'd say like the fixed culture before was, you know, you just get together with what you can and you slam your bike together and you work with what you have, because that was the point of it. The point was, you know, it was effective.
Well,
simple.
Well, for me anyway, it was like that.
Yeah.
Like, I saw all the guys' parts, so I was like, that's just ridiculous. Like, well, at my budget anyway.
Yeah.
But I didn't really see it as a go-to at that point. Well, I did. That's a lie, because obviously I went to go and get the Fuji because I thought that was a cool looking bike. So I did do it essentially, but obviously a cheaper price. I did obviously go to like Everton and buy a whole build.
Yeah.
But even so, like from jumping to fix to road, that took me a long time. Yeah. And I used to slag off roadies like going around Regent's Park, and these times I still be in my straps. And I chatting so much shit about them. Like I'm like now I see it. Now I feel like I don't want to go back on my fix. Like only when I do race.
Yeah. And
that's bad to say. Like obviously I knew where I started from cycling, but I know what I enjoy now. And like me riding brakeless through the city is just like insane for me.
It's still
like,
wild, yeah.
Like now that I have brakes, I'm just like, what? I was doing that. Like I was going like 30 miles per hour.
You were riding that big chain ring as well.
Oh yeah.
What chain did you like 50? What?
55.
55.
50.
See, that was the
brakeless.
Cool thing. Yeah. That was the cool thing back then. Everyone had a big dish.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm gonna get
dinner
one.
plate.
I'm gonna 55. I'm gonna get that. And then I got it. And then I soon realised, I was like, this is fucking huge. Like, I used to put like a ridiculous thing on the back, like I think it was like
it was
18 or 17 on the back, like something to obviously balance out the fact of killing my legs. But I remember coming around with that, and I think I've done a few long distance rides with Adrian with that, innit?
Yeah,
trying to get up those hills in Essex.
Oh yeah,
going up Mott. We was not going up Mott Street.
Yeah, I think it was Mott's Hill. Oh my god.
Did we see these names? See, I've been cycling for so many years. Like everyone mentions these names of these places. Like I'm like, have I been? And I probably have been.
You did a TT one time fixed on it.
Yeah, Essendon.
Essendon Hill.
That one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, yeah. See, I'm real shit like that. Like, I don't, like people always look at me now and be like, oh, you're not really a cyclist, or this, that, blah, blah, blah. I'm just riding to ride because I enjoy it. Like I'm not gonna be saying I know all of this shit, like, you know, all of that, you know, all of this. I just ride because I ride. Like people say, oh, where have you raced? And like, obviously, what's the place we went to race?
Where are you? Gravesend?
Gravesend, yeah.
I don't even know. Someone asked me and I was just like,
Had to get a train.
Yeah. I think it was far. Like that's all I remember.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not gonna obviously be like, oh yeah, it was an amazing race. Yeah, come this, that.
That was a good race.
That was a really good race.
Well, actually, was
But still, from before all of that, are there any other like things we can probably discuss in a sense?
Well, yeah, I mean, I suppose when you were talking about putting moving over to road bikes and the difference, I suppose the difference in cost and like getting into road bikes.
The cost.
So
is like huge.
the cost just went straight up because with a fix, you're buying one chain ring. One chain, like, whoa.
What I mean, the one chain lasts so much longer than a road chain.
I've had my
fixed chain's been on the one that I have currently has been on for like a year and a half now. Like, and you know, obviously it's worn, but it's not like affecting how I ride the bike. It doesn't skip gears or anything. It's just
I've had my Omniums for what since I bought them. What 4 years, 5 years?
Yeah,
I've not
changed that bottom bracket.
But it's like
I changed the bottom. Fucking hell, yeah.
But with fixed gear bikes, you can spend like £100 and buy like a really nice part for your bike.
Yeah.
So like because that's almost like a kind of like manageable amount for people. If like they're on like, even though they're on a bit of a lower income, they can probably save up over a couple of months and maybe just afford to buy like the Zen chain ring, or they can afford to buy like Omniums or a Seguido. You know, or like nice zip carbon handlebar second hand or something like. So you can always. It's a manageable amount of money to put some like really nice stuff on your bike, so it's almost like it feels like that's kind of why it's it's there for everyone. Why everyone's like, that's why I'm going to have loads of nice stuff on. But as soon as you start going, oh, I want to have a nice road bike,
You better slow
different
down.
story.
Yeah, you gotta
Because
slow
you're not
down.
going to buy you're not going to buy a Dura-Ace group set.
No.
You know?
I mean,
God.
Or you can if you,
you
want.
can if you want.
But
you know?
like, it's not something that like kids can get into. Like fixed gear, like kids can get into,
Yeah.
and they can buy some nice parts and have like a cool, nice bike pretty easily, or relatively easily. But like,
really easy.
road cycling, different
it's
story.
harder,
Like, it
way
is,
harder.
like it just makes it more exclusive.
Yeah.
It's not like you see kids like going, I want to ride road bikes. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Any kids that I see riding road bikes are,
They've got the background.
They've probably
set
got a
up.
background already,
Yeah.
you know. And I don't think it's unfair to say I think the majority probably come from a better off background. There's not many people who are coming off from like minimum wage families
With
who are out
with
riding.
Dura-Ace.
Yeah, you know.
Unless their family's super committed to the child's future.
Yeah, so it's just like such a step up,
Yeah.
and maybe that's kind of why it puts people off a wee bit, and why people, like we were all used to be a bit like snobby about road bikes.
Yeah.
For
sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we have them now. I know you guys have fully transitioned over to
What's
like
that?
just riding road exclusively.
Man, I haven't ridden a fixed gear bike since like Berlin last
2 years.
2 years.
2 years now, yeah. So I still like ride mine every day. Like my road bike is there. It's set up for turbo winter training, and then like if I go to a road race, then I ride it. Or if we go like a ride out to Brighton or something, I may use it. But even then, like the rides to Brighton and that, I'd still choose my fixed.
Well, we used to always ride. We did a good few rides to Brighton in fixed gears.
So
Yeah.
like I haven't let go of that kind of like that side of it still. I'm still like very much, on it. I don't know why, like just like where I feel comfortable still.
Yeah.
But also my commute's like 10 minutes now. It's no longer like half an hour to an hour across London. So
No more like grabbing onto the back of vans
back
and
of
stuff
vans,
and
like
holding
sketching,
on. Yeah.
So yeah, like even still, I still like prefer it just because like it's where everything began for me. So I still like have that nice feel when I ride the bike and that.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, like, there's a big difference. There's a big difference between riding like a British cycling road race, like on a Thursday night, and riding like
a
like
big event.
Red Hook or like Thundercrit or Fix 42 or something like that. Like
different environment.
The
buzz,
like the buzz and the people that are there and the kind of community that sits around about it, versus you just show up somewhere and there's like 5 commissars and maybe
people
like
scared to talk to each other as well.
What's just that, a road race?
just doing like and I mean that's like a night, like a weeknight summer crit, and at least there like it's a bit like you get to know everyone. But if you're doing like an actual like a road race out somewhere like up through Essex or somewhere like the ones that I did earlier this year, it's just you and some guys and you ride around and then it's done. There's no atmosphere.
There's no chat.
There's not really, unless you're there with friends, there's no chat. There's nobody there. There's no supporters. There's nobody there with cowbells or anything like that. So unlike maybe like Nocturne's like a good example of where like I've done a road race where there was an atmosphere for it. So I guess I always kind of toy with like, maybe I'll build back up the brother the fixed gear bike this year. But it's just cost again as well. Cycling is just like a money pit.
Expensive. Like just taking your bike abroad as well is like crazy. You have to find ways to beat the airport. You know, like this is a TV, and then you in a brown box. It's my TV, or you pay the full price like I do with a bike box, and it's just
how obviously we all never started cycling to race. Like, obviously, now that we are racing, do you feel like, because we are racing now, we feel like we have to get better parts? Or because you can still race on the parts you had previously, but you feel more obligated to buy better parts? Because
so like, what would happen is you turn up to a race, like I turn up to a race, and I'd see someone with something really nice. They'd be winning the race or finishing in the top 20, and I'd be like, that's why he's winning. It wasn't because I wasn't training hard enough. It was because I didn't have that part, or I didn't have like that equipment I needed those carbon mills, or I needed those Mavic Ellipses, or.
But the real thing is, you needed his legs.
Well, yeah, exactly, yeah.
But you learn. But I think that's what I learned. 'Cause I was definitely like that as well. But now that so the one part I'll say that did change things was getting a power meter. So getting a power meter from a road bike did change things a lot.
Yeah.
But and although that was like the biggest expense for me to put out,
is that the one cost that made?
That was one cost that made me actually realise that I didn't need to burst loads of money on the rest of the parts.
Yeah.
Because then you can see, like, I know exactly like
where
I am,
and stuff,
and you know, and it's not having like, oh, I've shaved 90 grams off because I've got carbon bars, or they're slightly stiffer, or I've got like you know, like super light, or even just like I've got nice like aero wheels or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's all going to make a bit of a difference, but in a
Not
weird
that
way,
much of a difference,
spending that money on the power meter has meant that I don't obsess about parts anymore. I don't really care about parts. They're just like, as long as they're the right size and they get me to fit on the bike.
Then that's
like,
it.
Just,
so if
just
there was
don't
like
mind
one bit of advice you'd give to like a new person getting involved, would you
I don't want to say like burst loads of money on a power meter.
Well, they're getting cheaper. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you can get a cheap power meter and you want to get into, I wouldn't even say racing. I would say
like
training.
Training. Okay.
Yeah,
that's fair.
then just made a huge difference to me. And you like getting me into like trainer road as well, and like, having like an actual training plan. I suppose it's the difference in just going out to do one race and having a good time and enjoying the community. And if you're like, oh well, I want to do it a bit better, then yeah.
So over time, like that's what like crept in for me, because before I was just like, let me go to the races. I want to do well, but I also just want to be part of everything. Whereas now, I still want to be part of it, but I want to do well.
Yeah.
Like it's a little bit of a role reverse, but I don't really care about doing amazing at a British cycling event because it's not going to carry me anywhere. But whereas like doing well at I guess at a fixed event is more important to me because it's where it all started.
Yeah.
Like so, you know, a road event, I feel like I can do well at those, and if I don't do well at those, oh well. Like,
yeah.
Do you feel like
because it's easy to get to, it's down the road. I don't have to like, you know, fork out loads of money to travel, or you know, like just very small things. And you know, also the guys who work on the fixed scene, I'm not talking like the big events. I'm talking like just the London scene, or even like the European scene with Netherlands Crit Series and whatever. They work really hard to put on those events. You know, for me that support matters much more than it does supporting just British cycling. Not that British cycling is bad, because it's good that it is there, but you need to have that love for it. If you don't have it, then you kind of like, you know, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah.
It's like whatever, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I guess I kind of like missed that in a way, and I missed the I don't know, maybe I don't get as excited about racing anymore as I used to.
But you're still committed to the racing game though. Like, you had good results last year.
Yeah, but and that's kind of weird for me, but because I'm not really that competitive with other people, but I'm quite competitive myself.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, like I mean that all kind of just like brings us kind of back full circle to like starting to getting into cycling and training, and the different kind of person that I know I am now compared to when I started. And it was just like, oh, this is this like social cultural thing I do, which is like riding fixed gear bikes and enjoying the kind of like the people I met through that.
Do you feel like the people, like obviously because we know pretty much everyone that's in like kind of the fixed cycling world in London, do you feel like they kind of gas you up in the sense of you come up to a race and be like, oh, you look fit, yeah, you're going to do well. Sometimes I don't want that, you know, like someone's coming
No one ever says that to me, so.
No, well, they say it to me because obviously, oh, look at your legs, man, you're going to do well, you're going to do this, like, oh, your hench, this, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, I don't need that right now. I want you to tell me, yeah, you might not be doing well because you haven't trained that much or something like that. You want a more honest. I want an honest, because don't get me wrong, like, I like, in all fairness, like, obviously I like the positive vibe that someone's pulling off, but sometimes you kind of just need about, oh, yeah, I haven't, like, you tell them, oh, I haven't trained, for instance, and be like, I need someone to tell me, like, look, bro, you haven't trained, like, you might not be able to, you might do this. You might blow up. Yeah, you might blow up in this race right now, like, sometimes I need that, like, don't, like, I'm not going to say, like, for someone to put you down or whatever. Yeah, put me down, but sometimes I kind of... You
just could be honest with yourself as well, though. Like, if they say it, you can just go, I ain't trained, I ain't done nothing. Yeah. I'm just here for the fun.
Yeah. Well, I guess you just do need to be honest with people, so... I guess if I'm at
I
race or an
I
event.
wouldn't say it to someone. No, it's kind of rude, but
Yeah. So I would be honest and say I would never say to someone, "Oh, mate, you haven't really been training much, have you?" So don't know about that. But
It sounds like mind games.
But if there was someone who I knew had been training really hard, or they were looking really ripped or something, then I would
You'd
actively,
comment them in the right
I would
way,
actively choose to comment, because I think it's good to like give that kind of positive reinforcement. And if someone's been making an effort about something, then of course you want to encourage them. And that's the one thing about like riding fixed gear races versus like normal road races. Like nobody's coming up to you
and
in
asking
like
you anything.
like Saffron Walden or somewhere and saying to you, oh mate, you're looking shredded, like, how's it going? And like competitors or spectators coming up to you, it's not happening because there aren't any.
Yeah, there's
you
no
know,
interest in this well either.
Whereas if you're at a fixed gear race, then there is that kind of community, and people have kind of like seen your Instagram, or people have been talking to you, and you get a bit more of a the vibe from it, I guess, where people are wanting to encourage each other. Everyone wants to encourage each other.
They want you to come to the event and do well because they're your friends first. Yeah. That's what it was, isn't it? That's like what the community was before, and still is to an extent. Like, you know, you still turn up to the races now, and people still want to talk to you. So that's quite nice. Like,
well, maybe see how it goes next year. I don't know. Yeah, I don't see myself doing any fixed gear races next year. But
not even Berlin.
No, I don't think so. But I see myself. I want to try, especially the ones that get put on in London. I'll definitely go along anyway.
Yeah,
to show
turn
face.
out. Yeah.